Two friends, Alan Dale and Jerry Carew, who grew up just a few streets apart in St. John's East End, have been separated by Canada's geography for 3 decades. They came together virtually during the pandemic to chat about like-minded interests. Alan lives in PEI and Jerry in Newfoundland. Thriving in remoteness has been a common theme for both of them during the pandemic. Gale Force Wins, the podcast is the result.
Hi, and welcome to Gale Force Winds. Come join me on a journey today. Well, the journey starts on the south coast of Newfoundland, way down south on the Bjorn Peninsula. It starts, let's get in the back of an Econoline van. It's a foot's taxi. On top is the luggage with fishnet over top. Young people on board heading into St. John's. I know if I were one of those young people, well, Gord Downey would summarize it best. I'd be all doe-eyed and confused. Well, not our next guest. She went on to inspire and motivate many people across this country and indeed internationally. We're so happy to have Michele Tessier join us on Gale Force Winds.
10 years ago, I had just taken command of HMCS Nanaimo, my first at-sea command, third woman in Canada to have command of a ship in the Canadian Navy. And I was a little surprised that I hadn't heard anything from my grandmother in the couple of months since I had taken command. And at Christmas, she sent me a letter with my Christmas gift. And my grandfather had passed away not long after I had joined the Navy, so he never got to see me accomplish the things that I did. But in the letter that she wrote me, she described to me what it was like for my grandfather, who, was not well educated. Went and started his journey at sea as a teenager, and how he had walked on board a fishing dragger, down on the south coast of Newfoundland in Grand Bank, and looked up at the captain and said, "One day that's going to be me." And so of course she said, she was proud of me. She was proud of what I accomplished, and she was still very worried about me, and that she was always going to worry about me. And that there was no one that could make her not worry about me. But she told me she was proud of me, and that I was following in my grandfather's footsteps, and that my grandfather had always said it takes guts to go to sea. And that for me was a really, really special letter. In fact, I sat on my living room floor the morning that I read that and just cried, because it meant more to me than I think any gift I could have ever received.
You went on to command ships. I mean, you traveled the globe, Michele. You went from Africa to the Arctic, East and the Atlantic and the Pacific. You've touched everywhere. Tell us about that journey.
That again has been just one of the most phenomenal things about the job. As a teenager, if you'd looked at me and told me that one day I'd be eating sushi in Japan, or hugging a deaf child in Africa, nothing that I could have ever imagined before. But the privilege that this job has given me to do that kind of travel. And I would say, not like most sailors, fortunately for me, a lot of the time I've done it by airplane and not by ship. I was in the Middle East shortly after 9/11 happened. I was in Croatia. I've been in Norway. Like you said, I've been a whole bunch of places. Africa being one of those ones that really, really sticks out in my mind. And I did that about 1.5 years ago for an exercise called Obangami Express. And I was sent over to be a commander for a zone during this effort.
Thank you for tuning in to Gale Force Winds. That's Gale Force Winds, WINS.com.